Thank you, Dieter, and thanks to the Technical Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, the topic of my presentation is free-flowing laser design, engraving and frosting on freeform surfaces. It's more or less, now Shimovic showed you freeform coins and I explain how to do it. During my presentation, I will quickly introduce myself. We will speak about the idea, why we choose this topic. We'll show you freeform engraving, freeform structuring, which means rainbow coloring, frosting, and so on. We will explain the technology, we'll show you some videos. In the end, we have some results, and we will speak quickly about possibilities. My name is Alexander Raminidis. I'm the Key Account Manager for the minting industry at ACSYS Laser Technique. We as a company, ACSYS, we try to get always feedback from our customers. Recently, we had a lot of requests to do engravings on heavily domed dies or even complete freeform-shaped workpieces. And it's obviously why. Such kind of coins and medals with different shapes are very interesting and create attractiveness. Not only that, we also reach new technology standards, we get more design variations, we maybe reach new markets, add high security to our product, and we are innovative. And innovation is important so we can stay ahead of market and competition. So let's speak about freeform engraving first. It's very important that the ejection direction of your blank after striking has to be the same direction as your laser engraving process, which is the case. A 5-axis operation would be counterproductive because we would create undercuts when engraving and rotating workpiece or laser. The design has to be made in a 3D software. You can use any software you like. In this case, we used ArtCam. You don't have to design everything from scrap in a specific shape. You can also take a flat design, which you maybe received from a plaster model, and then later wrap it on top of your freeform. The data you then created is not only used for engraving, you can also use it later for different applications like frosting. You have done everything just by creating the data. This type of engraving is possible with a so-called Z-tracking function by ACSYS. You already have the possibility to do such an engraving if you have an ACSYS machine which is capable of 3D engravings. We do not need the dynamic focus control, which I will explain a little bit later. So we see here how the data needs to look like. On the left side, we see that the data is already in the same shape as our freeform. In this case, we can use the Z-tracking function. Of course, if you have a flat design, you could also use the dynamic focus control, but we suggest to shape already the data in your freeform. And now I would like to show you how a freeform engraving looks like. So this engraving is done with a Z-tracking function, and you can notice it because you see that the Z-axis will slowly but steady lift the workpiece so the laser focus, the working distance, stays always at the same correct position. If you use the Z-tracking function, you have access to all the other functions and features of our ACSYS product and software, like for example skywriting. Okay, so now let's speak about freeform structuring. So that means doing a frosting or a rainbow effect or whatever on such a freeform. In this case, we need the so-called dynamic focus control. The reason for that is because when we do frosting, we don't have a 3D design, we have a 2D-based vector data, like a DXF file or a PLT file. And 2D data cannot be shaped or bent like a 3D model. In this case, we use the dynamic focus control to take this flat design and map it on top of our freeform shape. Thanks to this, we don't have to reposition laser, workpiece, or whatever, and we achieve a homogeneous appearance over the whole area. So now I would like to show you and explain what is the dynamic focus control. The dynamic focus control is an additional hardware device that can shift our laser focus, so the working distance, during the process. We need a virtual 3D CAD file in the background that can control and guide this device. This process happens live and during the structuring so we don't lose any time and we have a perfect equal looking frosting. Of course, it is very important to understand that the virtual model in the background has to match in shape and position with your original workpiece. So here we see that during the process we can change the level of working distance. And here we see now the dynamic focus control in action when doing a frosting. You can notice here that the white light, the plasma flame, which is the laser, always stays in the same intensity. This is an indicator that we always, no matter the height difference, we are always in focus position. Thanks to the dynamic focus control, and it happens live and during the process, we get an equal looking perfect frosting without any color gradient and without losing any time. All right, now I want to present you the finished result. For this specific sample, we chose a wave shape of our freeform. The height difference was 10 millimeters. And without losing any details or quality in engraving, we were able to engrave or process something like that on such a strong and heavily freeform shape. Thanks to the dynamic focus control, we are also able to structure this kind of surface or the surface around it without any color gradient. The positioning and the matching of the data, the virtual CAD model, and your workpiece can be easily done by our camera systems, the LAS live adjustment system. You can use booth laser technologies, the nano and the pico laser technology to achieve such kind of freeform applications. As we already know, the picosecond laser gives us a much better quality in terms of engraving, speed, efficiency, everything. And with the nano technology, we achieve more variation in terms of frostings. Additionally to the typical advantages you gain from a laser engraving or laser process and at all, we are now able to engrave and structure nearly unlimited designs which would not be possible with other technologies. I would like to invite you to our booth T33. I'm looking forward to have some great discussion and to show you this and other samples. Thank you for your attention.